Thank you so much, Philip. Right there. I also have with me in the studio Williams Omeji, who is also member of National Youth Parliament and also the Southeast Caucus chairman. Right there. Really, it's a pleasure to have you this morning.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
I'm sure you'll be paying attention to discussion also going on from our Benin Network studio, the 70,000 minimum wage CBDA pass and the plan protest. Let me first take you on what is your take on the approval by government to speedily pass the 70,000 minimum wage?
Well, I think to start with, I'm not extremely impressed by the, the speedy passage and even the money earmarked as the new minimum wage. But then, there's a local balance that at all, 9 was passed.
Yeah.
So as a matter of fact, personally, in a country where people splurge millions of naira, millions of dollars on somewhat irrelevant things, and then you can't afford to pay the workers of the country, a reasonable amount for their labor. I mean, it's something that I'm not impressed with. So the speedy passage, it's for me, looking at the speed with which it was passed, I would tell you that it was more like a case of let's do it fast before they will change their minds. So. That's my take on that.
Okay. But what about the planned protest that a lot of people are talking about? We can remember the last time the NSAS protest happened. It was hijacked by some group of Indians because it became something else. And some even report that lives were lost in the process. What's your take about the nationwide planned protest?
Well, the nationwide planned protest, as far as I'm concerned here, is still an alleged protest. I've not received any. I don't know of any public document stating that such is going to happen. It's for me. I'm just hearing it. For me, it's just like a hearsay, and I can call it an alleged protest. But let us even assume that there was a protest in the first place. You ask yourself, why do people protest in the first place? Do you understand? Protest is a democratic behavior where people are dissatisfied with the status quo. They show people in government that they're not happy with the status quo, with the way things are going, by peacefully protesting. So even under the law, protest is not a crime. Protest is not bad as long as it is done peacefully or conducted in a peaceful manner. Section 40 of the 1999 Constitution prescribes the right to freedom of association and assembly, so long as it is peaceful. Do you understand? So protest for me is not a crime. It's not something. It's not even anti-government. Do you understand? It is a way of telling government we do not like what is happening in the country. Can there be an alternative way to lead us? Can there be a solution to the sufferings we are going through? For instance, in a country where the price of petrol, a country where petrol is found, and then people buy that petrol at very, very high prices, there's bound to be protest. In a country where government struggles to even pay a reasonable wage to its workers, there's bound to be protest. And this protest is even the alleged protest, as I'm hearing, is even on the cost of living. The cost of living in this country wants to kill the living. So when you have situations like this, people will protest. When people can't even feel secure in their own country, they will protest. You understand? So protest is an integral part of democracy. And if you go to other countries of the world, when citizens are dissatisfied with the way they are being governed, they will go on the streets, bearing placards, peacefully telling government, we do not like the status quo. Can there be a change? So rather than government even feel attacked or feel a certain way, I think what government should do is if there's a protest, government should listen. Watch the people, go on the street and say exactly what they want to say, drive their points home. And what you should draw from that movement is a way to amend things. You should listen to what they want to say and then see how you can, amend some certain things or address some of the concerns. This protest didn't even start today. We know of the SALT march of 1930 in India.
Yeah.
We know of the segregation defiance of 1955 in America.
Yeah.
No, even just recently now, Kenya, did it. And government has stood up to address the concerns of the people. That is what protest should be about. Protest is not an attack on government. Protest is actually a way of registering people's grievances and sufferings. My brother told you, if you're in this country with me, you understand?
Yeah.
You see if you go on the street and see what people are, the kind of chaos, the kind of suffering people are thrown into in this economy, you know, you understand that, you know, the protest is something that is long overdue. If I'm to say, I don't know about the protest, but with what is happening so far, people need to go on the street and tell government, please, can there be another way?
Okay. Why we also try to link up via Zoom with Ita York and also the Prayer Solomon Bigbo, who is also a member of National Union. We also want to talk to the.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that question. So for me, the acceptance to even make a speech is commendable. You know. So just like you asked, what I would expect Mr. President to include in his speech or to address in his broadcast to the nation. The economy is ailing. Everything he has to say, let it be tilted towards saving the economy of Nigeria, because all of these things you're seeing, the planned protest, the mass outcry, it's because of the ailing economy. So I expect to hear strategies to, you know, save the economy. You know, once you address the economic concerns of this country, it has a rippling effect. It affects every aspect of our lives. I mean, I never imagined that I'll wake up one morning and I'll be buying fuel at the rate of 700 naira, 800 naira. If you go down to the southeast and some other places, they buy at 1,000. And as long as the price of petrol remains at that place it is, it will affect every aspect of our production. And if it keeps on affecting every aspect of production, the livelihood in the country will be very hard. So I don't know how he wants to do it, but he took up the job and swore an oath to do it. So he should, in his address, I need to hear how he wants to address the ailing economy. So that is the major area I want to hear him address Nigerians. Because once the economy is savaged, once he addresses this problem of this harsh economic headwinds, it will trickle down on every other aspect of our lives as a people.
Okay, right there, talking about Williams addressing the issue. But another issue we must also address also has to do with the fact that these protesters does not have a face. You know, we talked about this earlier on in the course of the program, the fact that when we had the protests of during 2009, during the time of Goodluck Jonathan, there were leaders like Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Wole Soyinka, and a couple of others leading the protest. With the answers, there was no leader. How do you ensure that we don't have the kind of situation where the protesters are faceless, and anybody, just like Philip said, anybody in their locality just join a protest? Will it not be detrimental? Look,
I will ask you. I don't know if this will answer your question or not, but hunger does not have a face. The pains we are going through in this country do not have faces. So if there's a planned protest and they are looking for the face, I think it's even ideal for the protest not to have a face. You understand? The face is the Nigerian people. The Nigerian people is the face you need to see that day. Because for me, the Nigerian story still plays a part. Why I don't want it to have a face here is if you put a face to it now, then there's negotiation behind closed doors. And once these negotiations come, some persons get settled. I'm sorry to say this, but that is the Nigerian situation. We've seen it over and over. And why did the NSAS protest not have a face? It was because the masses were scared of having some persons go ahead of them to go and negotiate on their behalf, because they feel those people can be bought over, and then the entire aim is defeated. I also understand that the reason a protest needs to have a face is so that we can hear your demands and see how we can. But there's one demand here. The demand here is we are suffering. Put economic policies to ensure that we stop suffering. Nobody wants to come and hear you say, nobody wants to come and say, come and give us this and that so that we cannot picket anymore. No, the picketing is because there is suffering in the country. Address these issues naturally. That's the demand. Make life worth living for the people of Nigeria, and there will be you don't need to talk to anybody. Talk to Nigerians. When you see them on the street, you say it's a planned protest. Me, I'm seeing it as an alleged protest. I don't know about it. But if the protest comes eventually, when people come on the street, you know what they're talking about. We can't be suffering. Like I said before, the cost of living in this country is killing the living. And let me tell you something. When you have people go to bed without being sure, when they wake up in the morning and they're not sure of what they will eat, throughout the day, when they don't earn enough to even sustain their own living, when the cost of petrol is where it is right now, when there's insecurity in the country, when there's kidnapping in the country because people are trying to survive, there will be protest. When these things are happening in a nation, a sovereign nation that has all the apparatus, that has all the resources, my brother, if you know the amount of money turned out of this country every day, then you understand that we shouldn't be living below this poverty line that we're all living in.
So, but
this pain, if you tear out the skin of an average Nigerian now, the next thing you see is pain, suffering.
But how do you ensure that the protest achieve its objective?
Well,
because in the process of being angry, we may allow things to get out of hand. Because we have there's an objective. People are hungry. People are not comfortable with the policies of government. But how do you ensure that the protest achieve its desired objective without being derailed?
Well, should we even wait? To be very honest with you, should we even wait to protest before government does what is one ought to do? This is just like the last resort of the people. If what we're seeing right now is not happening, nobody wants to come and protest. We've seen protests in this country where people lost their lives. Who wants to lose his life because he wants to protest? No, nobody wants to protest. But we are doing this because we don't know what to do again.
Okay. Philippines also see some little questions right there concerning what we are discussing right there. Hopefully, also the guests in Benin also have something to say concerning this.